New Jersey is experiencing an epidemic of heroin and opioid abuse. Friends and family are dying from overdoses at a rate twice the national average. That number is rising. We are working hard to do everything we can to stop this disease.
In Middletown Township, we have 17 schools, 12 elementary schools, 3 middle schools, and 2 high schools. We service almost 10,000 students and about 900 teachers and 1,500 employees. So I work collaboratively with the teachers, the building level administration, the 17 principals, along with the curriculum department, personnel department, to make sure that the schools have the resources that they need. Education is really a people business. So that connection between student and teacher is very important. A lot of the research on what makes students really like their teacher really starts with the fact that they think that their teacher cares about them, supports them, wants them to do well, is an advocate for them. Now you have to balance that with pushing them to a level where they really can get to deeper understanding, where they really can do their best work. But I think it begins with a strong relationship. The next thing about being a great teacher, and I think this is probably similar to most professions, is the reflective abilities. To be able to look at your practice in real time and think about how we can improve that. You know, oftentimes as a teacher, I remember being in the classroom, having planned and prepared for a lesson, but changing that lesson at some level based on the interactions that were going on. Of course, the curriculum was the same, the content was the same, but being able to evaluate during a lesson and also post-lesson about what went well and about what we can do differently. And then that reflective practice becomes more powerful when teachers are given the opportunity for professional development so that they can grow, and they're given the opportunity to collaborate with their colleagues. In Middletown, our teachers write their curriculum. They write it with administrators, but teachers are the lead on the curriculum, and that we feel that's very important. Teacher leadership is very important, because if the teacher is writing the curriculum, and if their colleagues know that teachers are writing the curriculum in alignment with standards, in alignment with the administrative team, with constant discussion and communication of the rigor and the grade appropriateness and the subject appropriateness. But when teachers are doing the writing of the curriculum, that's when we really get it implemented at the level that we need in the classroom. I think the parent's role is to be that advocate for their child, and to set the expectation as it relates to school, that school is important. To give their children the confidence to know that they can be successful. And I think that comes with supports. And I think that our schools have to support that as well, that we have to embrace our parents and welcome our parents. Here in Middletown, our parent organizations in each of our 17 schools do so much great work for us. They're regularly in our schools, supporting our schools, making sure that our teachers and our administration have the supports necessary. And I spend about 2 hours a month at Parent Information Committee with representation from all 17 schools with our parents. On any given day, anywhere from 25 to 50 parents might come out for our monthly meetings, and we do presentations for them. We have open dialogue with them. We answer questions just to make sure that our parent community knows how much we respect their role, how much we need their support, how much their children need their support. And we're committed to collaborate to make that happen. Not just when there's a concern. It's most important on a daily basis to talk to their children about the learning that's taking place in school, and to show interest in their school and support their children's learning by sometimes even sitting with them at the table, in the evening when they might need support with their out of school work. In my 30 years in education, with a significant part of that being in secondary and spending time as a middle school assistant principal, high school principal, I have come to understand that schools are microcosms of society. And proactively, we really have to look at all of the ills of society and understand that there is an opportunity for those to penetrate the walls of the school, and that certainly can happen, whether that's violence, whether that's vandalism, whether that's bullying, or whether that's substance abuse. It's something that we have to purposely watch for and provide the appropriate education for our children and supports and sometimes counseling and coordination with other agencies to really make sure that we can be the resource we need to be to assist families and our children with this, international, national problem, but it also certainly is a significant problem in the state of New Jersey, substance abuse, and in all of our communities in New Jersey. As soon as young people become old enough to emulate adult behaviors, and boy, that seems to happen at a younger and younger age, I think the potential's there. Technology, I also think, provides additional challenge in this because there's just information is available continuously, nonstop, and the opportunity to communicate with people who are engaging in risky behavior is always evident. It's always there. That potential is always there. And the opportunity to learn how to participate in risky behaviors and is always at their fingertips. So I wouldn't put an exact age on it. I would say the educational work we're doing with our local school, our local police department, what we're doing in our curriculums, age appropriate for health, to make sure that we are beginning to, at a young age, to identify for young people at an age appropriate level what risky behavior looks like, and what positive decision making looks like. That's all part of that very purposeful student directed learning, and also just making sure that that children understand how to make good decisions.
I got hurt and was given painkillers. By the time the drugs ran out, I was addicted. It happened so fast. I ended up on the streets, where the drugs are cheaper and easier to get. I was a full-blown heroin addict, selling my soul to get high. When I realized I needed help, I didn't know where to go.
We are in the state of New Jersey and in Monmouth County very concerned with the heroin epidemic. that certainly the governor is really championing right now. And we have, over the last 6 years that I've been here, worked with our local police department, because of course that's the worst case scenario. But it's the beginning of risky behavior. It's the ability for young people to identify when they're participating in risky behavior, and it's the escalation of those risky behaviors that might begin with alcohol and move towards other substance abuse. But then the worst case scenario is that heroin addiction. And because the purity of heroin here on the East Coast, because it comes directly in, and this is what we're being told by our local police department and the prosecutor's office, and they've done a lot of work to with our school community in providing education for our school community of the potential of the almost immediate addiction with heroin. And again, once we start with the risky behavior, whatever that is, alcohol, the understanding of the direction that risky behavior could head to, or the direction it's going. And I've certainly seen that in every school district that I've worked in my 30 years. I've seen that potential, and there's always those worst case scenarios that are possible. I haven't directly, I just want to say that, haven't directly seen that heroin use in schools, but with the data that we get from our local police department and from our prosecutor's office, we know that Monmouth County, Ocean County, we have a Monmouth County Superintendent's Roundtable with the county superintendent, Les Richens, Dr. Richens, where certainly these conversations about what we're doing in working coordination with our township and with our police departments to make sure that we are identifying for the families, for our parents, for our students, the very negative potentials of that risky behavior. And here in Middletown, we have a great working relationship with the police department. We have our teachers that actually come into their schools and teach about the consequences of that risky behavior and drug addiction and drug use and alcohol use, and that's very important. And they're actually trained by the work through the police department to work with our children, and they work collaboratively with us. But we also, through the township, have the Alliance, which is a great coordination between the adult community and the school community, and between the citizens of Middletown and the police department and the school system, where we collaboratively work to address these issues.
My daughter, in 2011, she was still in active addiction, and she was overwhelmed with her addiction. She didn't know what to do, and she's a great writer. She actually has her own blog right now, but at the time she wrote Little Blue Pill, and Little Blue Pill represents Roxy's, which are, like a Percocet. It's a synthetic opiate. And that's the title, Little Blue Pill, and I'd like to share it with you. Every day, every night too, my life revolves around a little blue. It may sound crazy, but believe me, it's true. My day cannot start till I get not one, but two. I lost my friends, my family too, but none of that mattered if I had my blue. The things I did, the things I've said, it will never stop until I'm dead. I cared about nothing, it's sad to say, that these little blue pills consumed my every day. It's a crazy addiction, it's hard to understand, but I'm not happy until that little blue pill's in my hand. And the craziest part is that I know it's wrong, but it's hard to just stop when you've been this way for so long. You won't stop until you are ready. Until then, you'll continue to go steady. I wish I could get off this terrible path. The money I've spent, holy shit, do the math. I feel helpless, I'm getting scared. The things you've seen, the needles you've shared, I wish I could cut it out with a knife, but I feel I'll never stop, not until it takes my life. This life is crazy, it's so hard to deal, when all you know is to lie, cheat, and steal. I've hurt the ones that I love, the ones who love me. I wanted everyone to leave me alone and just to let me be. It's a hard life to live, a hard path to walk. I do so many pills now that I can't even talk. I nod out and sleep and think I'm having fun, but really, I'm masking, just trying to feel numb. I have a great family who loves me a lot. And that sucks, because sometimes I don't see that. I'm just way too shot. I hope this ends soon. I can't take any more. One day I won't wake up. I'll be dead on the floor. If anyone out there has any advice, please, I need help before it takes my life. This is no life. It's all a big game. And I'm so much more than this. It's really such a shame. I wish I could go back to that very first day when I got that first pill and just throw it away. You know what? That kind of tells the story of the fear of addiction and what she was going through back then. We're one of the lucky ones right now. She's in recovery. You know, she has an apartment, she has a car, she has a job, she has a dog, you know, and she's living life. And, you know, we're healing as a family. But it's scary, you know, it's scary all the time. And it is one day at a time.
People make mistakes, adults make mistakes, children make mistakes, and us as a school district and our teachers, our counselors, our student assistance counselors, and our administrators understanding their role to model positive decision making, to look for those signs of the risky decision making, and to counsel children and families, and sometimes find other resources like the Alliance or the Bayshore Family Success Center, which is done in coordination with the YMCA, the Red Bank Y. That's a tremendous outside agency that's right here in Middletown that does a lot of work supporting our families of Middletown, and I spend time with them. Their director, Rhonda Anderson, collaborating with them and what we can do to support each other, how they can support, just like we do with the Middletown Police, just like we do with the Alliance. I think that's really important. And yes, absolutely, there will be young people that need additional support, and we have had great success at times with the counseling necessary to bring the knowledge of the direction these young people are heading and get them back on the right track. Focus really isn't on the disciplinary side. The focus is on what can we do to make sure that we get these young people the help they need, so they have the information and they have the support, so they won't continue to participate in those types of decision. And those policies are well defined in our student handbooks. They're actually available on our website for anyone to look at. But the focus is on get better. The focus is on making sure that our students have the resources necessary to make the positive decisions and be successful. Well, I think thanks to our Board of Education, the direction of the 9 members of our Board of Education, we've had a run of very good stability. I've been here for 6 years as superintendent. We have an experienced administrative team. We have a strategic plan in place, a 5-year strategic plan that has an educational focus, has a facilities focus, has a financial focus, and we really just want to continue to improve to be the very best school system that we can be. And part of why I chose Middletown is because I already knew this was a great community. Well, my parents originally were teachers, and then my father went into business, and he said what he missed in business was the opportunity to really help people, and that I would say that my mother as a teacher and my father as my first teacher, their passion to inspire their 5 children is why I got in it. You know, I like children. I want to be around children. That's another thing that makes a really good teacher, somebody who's really interested in working with and being with children. So for me, it was the opportunity to help people. And at this role, where you expand to where now you're working with 1,500 employees and you work collaboratively with the township and you work with the police department, and you have the responsibility to look out for the greater interests at large, the taxpayer, the community member. Although, you know, I represent our children and our teachers and our schools as the largest employer, but also someone who makes up, you know, we make up a significant portion of the property taxes. We have a responsibility not only to inspire and motivate young people and to help them be successful, but to be a community partner and to work in the best interest of the 70,000 or close to 70,000 people that live in this community. And I take that responsibility very seriously.
I got hurt in high school playing football and was prescribed a painkiller. I was the number 6 recruited football player in the nation. When I went to college, it went to the point that after the prescription ran out, I tried to find other ways to get it. That is when I was introduced to heroin. They say if addiction don't kill you, the lifestyle will. I stay busy because I know, like, the next minute is not guaranteed. The biggest fear I ever had in my life, other than mice, is leaving this planet without reaching my fullest potential. It's yours. It's called repairing the wreckage of your past. I just want to maximize every minute, every second that I have, you know? The message that I would give anyone who is suffering from the disease of addiction: believe in yourself and continue to strive for your dreams and your goals. I enjoy living, I enjoy what I do, and I enjoy the struggle. It's a beautiful struggle, because you know what? You'll never know how strong you truly are until you face adversity. For me, bottom was sitting in the prison cell and just realizing where the last 20 plus years of my life has went. Just know I didn't want to feel that pain anymore. Being caught in the web of addiction and in the criminal lifestyle, there's no fulfillment. It's just a skeleton of a life. If I didn't get help, I would probably be either dead or in jail again. We're at the rescue mission of Trent. This is the halfway house. I spent 364 days here. When I got the call to come join the team, you know, it was a no-brainer. I'm a recovery aide. Pretty much conduct the orderly running of the facility. I chose to come back and hopefully be some evidence and some motivation for those that came after me to do the same thing that I did. Joseph, you frying fish, Dave? Yes, sir. Or is that Donnie's work? Recovery is, I don't want to say it's difficult, it's challenging. What you are actually doing is learning how to live in an entirely different way. It's important that you acknowledge the fact that you are an addict and that you need help. So the most important message I would say is don't give up. It's not the end. You're not alone.
My mother was a smoker. She smoked her whole life. She was addicted to nicotine. She started when she was 16 years old, which was 1948. But by the time 1964 came, the Surgeon General's report came out, and she was in her mid-30s, she knew that smoking was bad for you. And I tell you, I watched her as a kid growing up. She tried everything she could to quit. She had the gum, the patches, hypnosis. She tried everything. She couldn't quit. Now, when she turned 71, a little after that, she was diagnosed with lung cancer. No one came to me and said, don't treat her because she got what she deserved. We know the lung cancer was caused by the smoking. We know it was. But no one came to me and said, hey, listen, your mother was dumb. She started smoking when she was 16. Then after we told her it was bad for her, she kept doing it. So we're not going to give her chemotherapy. We're not going to give her radiation. We're not going to give her any of that stuff. You know why? Because she's getting what she deserves. No one said that. No one said that about someone who had cancer. Yet somehow, if it's heroin or cocaine or alcohol, we say, well, they decided they're getting what they deserved. I'm pro-life. And I think that if you're pro-life, that means you got to be pro-life for the whole life, not just for the 9 months they're in the womb. All right? It's easy. It's easy to be pro-life. For the 9 months they're in the womb, they haven't done anything to disappoint us yet. All right? They're perfect in there. But when they get out, that's when it gets tough. The 16-year-old teenage girl on the floor of the county lockup, addicted to heroin, I'm pro-life for her too. Her life is just as much a precious gift from God as the one in the womb. It can happen to anyone. And so we need to start treating people in this country, not jailing them. We need to give them the tools they need to recover. Because every life is precious. Every life is an individual gift from God. And we have to stop judging and start giving them the tools they need to get better. It can happen to anyone.
You know, she has an apartment, she has a car, she has a job, she has a dog, you know, and she's living life. And, you know, we're healing as a family. But it's scary, you know, it's scary all the time. And it is one day at a time.